You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here for Drake Wing Gaming. It's Something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Promises to Keep, Rofi's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! Not to mention the possible legal fallout between her family and any individuals involved. We see lots of that in the ER too. Legal battles that extend months on end, even if one party is clearly in the right. More staticky silence. Well... Alright, you really think it's necessary? The most reluctant acceptance I've ever heard in my life. My wife hasn't had time to tidy up, so... Oh, that's quite alright, sir. Rofi cuts him off and begins rattling off a list. As long as there's somewhere comfortable for her to sit and some blankets to wrap her in, as I'm sure she'll be cold. Perhaps a warm drink? If you have a fireplace it isn't already on, suggest lighting it. Well, hold on now, We'll start preparing to head over to number 27 right now. I'll be in touch with you if we need anything else. Please do remember that time is of the essence here. Well, at least tell me you're expecting to bring her over. At least tell me when you're expecting to bring her over. Like I just said, sir, we'll be there as soon as possible, likely within the hour. Please do your best to be ready for us. Now, before I hang up, do you have any other questions regarding preparations for her care? Well, no, I suppose not. Alright, good. We'll see you soon, sir. Thank you. Rofi hangs up the call with decisive motion and sighs deeply, rubbing his eyes with both paws. Wow. Rofi, that was seriously impressive. He laughs a bit wryly without uncovering his eyes. Practice. Alright, we'd better start getting ready. Right. I take one last fortifying swig of my coffee and stand. I think I'll start waking the others. We might need all hands on deck for this one. Sounds like a plan. I'll go update Theo? Great. Grab your warmest clothes and we'll meet you at the front door in 5. I nod and walk briskly back into the living room. I find Theo sitting on the couch by the fire, leaning forward, paws clasped in front of him. Theo, good news, they agreed. That easy, huh? Guess all they had to do was hear it from someone besides me. Well, Rofi is a PA. He knows how to handle situations like these. Theo hesitates, then nods, his expression softening somewhat. Fair enough. Good that he's here, then. Let's help Rofi wake the others, and then we can head out. With only the slightest bit of difficulty, we get everybody out of bed and downstairs in just a few minutes. The mood is muted due to the early hour, but tightly focused. All of us are clearly ready to do what needs to be done. Okay, everyone, have your phones? We all nod. I'm guessing we'll need shovels once we get there. I have 2 sitting outside. Oh, they're plastic, but the metal ones are all in the garage, and we don't have time to dig them out. I have a metal one in my place. So do I. Great. You 2 go fetch those. Stick together. You never know what could happen in weather like this. Meet us at 27 as soon as you can. Got it. Sure. Theo nods once again and opens the door, ushering us into the bitterly blasting wind. Oh wow, yeah, that tree is down in the middle of the fucking street. Jesus. It feels colder than ever before. As I take the door from Theo to let everybody out, I see Ollie shiver and pull his coat tighter around himself. Hunter gives me a smile and a nod, taking the door in turn from me. We file out onto what we think is the covered sidewalk. Artemis and Hunter head immediately for their houses, and Theo and I grab the shovels laying right beside it, right next to the porch. The sheer volume of snow is almost unbelievable. Theo and Hunter's shoveling work from the previous day is basically unnoticeable. When I beheld it all 3 days ago, I felt wonder. Now I feel only fear and apprehension. The fierce wind whips the snow into uneven piles. Paths close to walls are the worst, with miniature hills heaped halfway up the sides of houses. Cars unfortunate enough to be left out on the street are almost completely hidden. Vague shapes in the expanse of white, punctuated by a side mirror or the reflection off an exposed headlight. Nobody will be driving anywhere for quite a while. We trudge along in single file, Theo at the vanguard, the rest of us following the path he makes. He does his best to pick the shallowest paths, where the snow is only knee-height at most. Finally, we arrive at number 27, the wind tearing at our coats. Theo gestures towards a narrow passage leading to the backyard of the house. He shouts to make himself heard over the tempest. Her apartment is back there. She lives in the back half of the house, and the folks in the front are out of town. So we can't go through the front? Theo shakes his head. I already tried. Her door is in the backyard. Ah, this is going to be trickier than I thought. Not only do the snow piles constrict the already narrow pathway, but the uphill entrance to said pathway is mostly blocked by a submerged car. How the fuck are we going to do this? Theo's head and ears start swiveling back and forth, taking in the scene. I can almost hear the gears turning in his brain. He gestures for all of us to huddle up. Okay. Well, she can't walk in this, so she'll never get down the driveway, let alone cross the street. I'll have to carry her out, but I don't want to risk that until we've cleared up the path a little. Theo's eyes flick to the house and then to Rofi. Rofi, I think you better be the one to check on her. I'll come with you to make sure she opens up, but after that I'm leaving her to you, okay? Okay. His voice is steady, but I've known him too long to be fooled. Rofi is incredibly nervous, almost sweating despite the cold. Good, I'm counting on you, Rofi. I know. After a long moment of eye contact, Theo turns to me and Ollie. You two start shoveling. We'll need as much of this driveway cleared as possible. If we can get our keys and get the car out of the way, that's even better. Even if we have to put it in neutral and push it, every bit of space helps. I nod, glad to receive clear, direct instructions. Oop. Good coffee spilled, not too bad. Okay. Tell the other two the plan once they get here. I'll have them start clearing a path across the street to the Robinsons. Once I get inside Rofi, I'll be going across the street as well. I need to make sure Tom has everything ready. Maybe I can even get him off his ass to help shovel, though I doubt it. As soon as you've cleared a good enough path, I'm carrying her out, no matter what she says. Everyone clear on their jobs? Yes, sir. Yes. Rofi doesn't sound quite sure. Yes. Then let's get started. Clock's ticking. Ollie and I immediately dig into the driveway, but I keep one eye focused on Theo and Rofi. The two of them sidle around the car, Theo doing his best to clear a path through the small space between it and the house. Rofi looks back at me once, then turns away when he realizes I'm already looking at him. They vanish into the backyard, and I turn my full attention to shoveling. Despite his aversion to cold, Ollie is good with a shovel, clearly an old hand at this. He and I manage to clear most of the bottom half of the driveway when Artemis and Hunter arrive, carrying stout metal shovels on their shoulders. Where we dropping, boys? You did not just say that. Theo needs us to clear the driveway, so maybe we can move the car, and then a decent path across the street to number 30. I indicate the well-lit house across the street. He's gonna carry her out, so... Say no more! Hunter immediately takes to shoveling with enthusiasm, and Artemis quickly follows, cutting efficiently across the snow-choked streets. At that moment, Theo reemerges from behind the car and begins making his way to number 30, pausing only to slap Hunter on the back and give Artemis a nod. I feel a tug on my sleeve. Hey, Leo? I don't want to tell you what to do, but if you wanted to go inside and help Rofi, the three of us have it covered out here. I blink, surprised, shovel halfway stuck in the snow. It's just, I could tell he was pretty nervous about having to handle her alone, and you kept looking at him, so I figured, honestly, yes. The moment Ollie offered me the possibility, it became the only thing I wanted. Are you sure you'll be alright, just the three of you? We're better off out here than he is in there. I think he could use another set of paws at the very least. I heave the last heap of snow off to the side and jam my shovel up right into it. Thanks, Ollie. Of course. Just go. With one more thankful nod, I start trudging towards the house. All of a sudden, the urgency hiding just below the surface breaks through, and I find myself almost racing through the snowbanks and through the rickety old gate. There's the door just ahead. I turn the handle with an unwelcoming squeak and force my way inside. The combined stench of cigarettes and mildew hits me like a wall. Deep breaths, Leo. I swallow a bundle of hacking, smoke-choked coughs. Okay, maybe shallow breaths are best. I make my way through the small entryway and into the living room. As I enter, a gruff, hoarse voice greets me. So, you know... There we go. Coffee is completely done. Perfect. Let me finish this water off. Alright, cool. Staying hydrated. As I enter, a gruff, hoarse voice greets me. Who's this? Oh. I spot the two of them immediately. The old woman glares at me from her ancient armchair. Thin, pale, and trembling, one milky eye staring off past me into forever. Rofi turns to me with something approaching full-blown panic, contained only barely by his professional demeanor. Diana, this is my friend Leo. He's here to help. In fact, he arrived just in time. More help? Not sure how much more help I can take right about now. I promise we're doing our best to get you somewhere warm. Your best, huh? She laughs, a sound like marble on a cheese grater. Leo, can I talk to you for a moment? Listen here, pup. If you're gonna talk about me, you might as well do it right in front of me. Glad I came in when I did. The vibes in here are absolutely rancid. Somehow maintaining his calm, Rofi turns fully to me. I'm very concerned for her. She's been sitting here drinking for days. The old woman scoffs loudly, interrupting him. Rofi presses on. I was just in the middle of speaking to her when... Diana, do you mind showing Leo your hand? She removes her thin arm from her pocket. You still worried about this? Her bony hand jerks rhythmically, back and forth, back and forth. This started happening. She stuffs her jittery hand back out of sight with a dismissive huff. I don't know if this is a tremor, some kind of weird Parkinson's thing, or... I realize that my question falls on deaf ears. The dog is clearly deep in thought. As I observe his expression, echoes of my incident yesterday send a chill through my spine and down to my footpaw. Rofi? Yes, sorry. He turns back to address the frail lady. Diana, has this kind of movement ever happened before? What, like in my life? Hell, I've probably lived 4 times as long as you. You expect me to remember everything? Without missing a beat, Rofi continues his line of questioning, trying to specify. Have you ever noticed your arm shaking like this? Maybe you were diagnosed with a movement disorder at some point in your life. She ignores him, her shaking hand now occupied with digging around underneath the chair cushion. Diana, I need you to work with me. Do you have any medical conditions that you're aware of? She conjures a beaten-up old flask from the chair and knocks it back before tossing it onto the floor. Empty. Rofi keeps his eyes on her, unaffected by her behavior. I've got diabetes. Okay, anything else? No. Rofi nods and pulls me aside. I really doubt her medical history is that clean, but we'll work with what we have. I think this could be some kind of diabetic exacerbation, especially if all she's been consuming is alcohol. But I'm still hopeful it's just a benign movement disorder. Or then again, it could be more sinister, maybe medication-induced? I need to see what she's taking. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!